What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow rocker here, Rockerman X, and I am here right now with my Walking Dead review for Season 5, Episode 16, Conquer. Yes, that is right. The Season 5 finale, the 90-minute season finale at that. And as you guys may notice, since it's the season finale, I decided to do my format of this review a little bit different because as this video goes on, you will see pictures from this season, and hopefully most of them, if not all of them, are from this season. But I did promise I'd bring this video, and since how late it is, or early, depending on what you want to say, it is really. I'm not going to say what time I'm recording this, but yeah, I didn't really feel like webcamming, as I normally don't whenever I make these videos, but still. But yeah, to start off this review, to be honest, honestly, all I really have to say is first let me just start off with the Alexandrian people that we know of at this moment and throughout the episode and stuff like that. And can I be honest here? For most of this time we known the Alexandrian people, aka Deanna, I'm just going to say it now, she's been nothing. To me personally, she's been nothing but just some asshole politician, to be honest. I mean, yes, is what she was in her before the as what she was pre-apocalypse, but the point of this is just I can understand why she still acts like she is, but the point is she just acts too much like it. She's like the governor, except not the governor at the same time. Like, she's much more not as evil. There you go, that's the way of putting it. And then Reg, which of course Deanna's husband, you know, honestly, I'm not going to try to give you spoilers. I'm going to talk about how I talk about it. Is basically, to me, just a genuine nice guy, and he knows what he's doing, all that stuff. That's really nothing to say about him, because we never really go much into him, especially after what happened tonight. But anyway, Nicholas, all I gotta say is he's just a straight up motherfucking douche bag. And the reason why I say this about Nicholas is because at this moment, really, he's focused on just Trump. Oh god, my voice went high, but really, Nicholas just focused on trying to kill Glenn, which I honestly don't see no point of. But there you go. And while we're talking about Nicholas, we might as well talk about Glenn too, even though he's not part of Alexandria. But since Glenn and Nicholas had this whole feud, which I think straight from had this whole feud that kept going on through the episode, and there was plenty of times this episode that I was like, holy fuck, please don't let Glenn die. Because there was plenty of times this episode you either thought Glenn was dead or Glenn was going to die. And then later on, when they're out in the woods more during night, and you know, like Nicholas trying to hunt him down, Glenn basically gets him down, points the gun to his head, beats down Nicholas, stuff like that. And honestly, I kind of think Glenn should have shot the fuck out of Nicholas only because Alexandria's a piece of shit. All of them are. They don't know shit. Well, not all of them, but a few of them are. A couple of them I can think of are. Pete. Oh, wait, before I say anything, I will say, though, too, the whole feud between Glenn and Nicholas, I actually like, because it did keep me on the edge of my seat while watching the show, because I was always like, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Is Glenn going to die? Is Glenn going to kill Nicholas? Nicholas going to die? Or whatever. Honestly, I like this part of the I like this part of the show, so I have nothing to say about that. And Glenn's character, in a way, kind of develops, too, throughout this. There's really no way of me saying it, how, but in a way it does. But anyway, back to what I was originally going to say, Pete. Now, we all know what happened to Pete tonight if you watched it, but Pete, honestly, is just nothing but a fucking porch dick. And I say this in so many different ways. I mean, it's not even funny, and I just can't stand his ass. That's nothing really to say, and that's really all I gotta say about this character, honestly. Just a porch dick, simple as that. But then, talk about Pete, you know, we got Carol, and I actually kind of, in a way, with Carol stepping up, threatening to kill Pete, I find it funny that he's scared of her, especially because of his size compared to hers. But, in a way, I also feel like it's a noticeable redemption for Carol. because we all know Carol's past life, how her husband Ed beat her, stuff like that. And always kind of redemption for her to be in a position, to actually help someone else, and how Jesse's position mimics her and stuff like that. That's really all I gotta say. And before I talk about Jesse or anyone, I'm actually going to skip down here a little bit so I can go on more about Rick and everything. Here we have Aaron about the Alexandrian, and to be honest, to me, Aaron is actually a genuine nice guy. I mean, as well as he knows what he's doing, he basically knows how to pick people right to come join whatever, and stuff like that. I mean, I have no complaints with Aaron, to me, like I said, and how him and Daryl just click together is a plus, especially since they're both in a way similar but not similar at the same time. But then what we know about Aaron, stuff like that, and while we're on Aaron, let's talk about Aaron and Daryl's journey. And yes, I know this review set up weird, but hey, what more can you do? The funny part is, what I find funny about on Aaron and Daryl and why they're out trying to find people, and they end up trying to get the red jacket person, which was a weird relevant point, but anyway. There's something to it about me that stuck out with that. I can't think of what it is at the moment. But we learn, as Aaron and Daryl talk to each other, we learn that Alexandria has kicked people out before. What I don't understand is they gave them supplies to live, such as enough food and water for a day, but why would they keep their weapons? I mean, I feel like that's somewhat of a, I don't know if that was Aaron and other people's calls, or if that was like an Alexandrian thing that, like, if we kick people out, don't give them their weapons, whatever, what Deanna said, whatever. I kind of wonder why they wouldn't give them their weapons, but then again, you never know. And another good part of this episode, too, is during the part when Daryl and Aaron run into one of the wolves, and yes, we officially now know it's the wolves that do it on WC. Now, I think a lot of us already knew about that. I got spoiled because, I'm an idiot and I like searching up the comic book stuff. But anyway, they run into one of the wolf's traps, and really, during this part of the episode was like a holy fuck moment, because Daryl dying or Aaron dying was like holy fuck. But I will say, during this part of the episode, Daryl, when he had the chains, that was fucking badass. And Daryl is badass no matter how you put it. Carol's badass too, but still. But then they end up, going around trying to get out, and end up getting trapped in this car. And what I find funny is that, and we also learned during this whole session too, that while Daryl and Aaron are trapped in the car, we learned that the reason Aaron considered letting Rick and the group in at all was mainly because of Daryl, because when he led his group safety during the storm, stuff like that. And, Daryl, I don't know if he thinks he's going to die or not, probably not, but I like how he's willing to sacrifice himself to try to distract the walkers in an attempt to let Aaron get out. And it's weird. I still say this is weird how Daryl has warmed up to each other. But then again, it's just how they're one and the same, at least a little bit. Not necessarily situation-wise of their pre-apocalypse life. But ultimately, to me, they are, in a way, a same person. Similarities under both outsiders, stuff like that. But anyway, in the midst of them trapped, like I said, and in the midst of this, Morgan, we see in the beginning of the episode, and I'll get to that in a second, it turns out that he comes and helps save them. And honestly, I still say he came back with that walking stick. And when he hands Daryl that map, and he says Grimes, you can obviously tell at that moment, that he's looking for Rick, or at least Daryl know. Well, obviously he's looking for Rick, but Daryl also knows who he is now, because he didn't realize him before, And it's just weird for me how this episode because because Morgan would be teasing him for months and months and months and months, and he wasn't on a lot of the episodes near the end after when he found the map of the church, and all of a sudden, oh, here he is on the episode. And to be honest, I actually liked that, seeing that, but yeah. And then while we're on subject of Morgan coming into the group, Morgan in the beginning, he's talking, the man with the W on his forehead, obviously one of the wolves, comes up, talks to him, basically saying they're going to kill him, they're going to take all his stuff, blah, blah, blah. And what I find funny is that another one sneaks up behind him trying to kill him, and Morgan, like again I said, just a badass with a walking stick, turned to he's like a fucking Jedi with that walking stick, to be honest. It's just weird. But it's like a good weird. Because, I don't know, it's like I said, just Jedi with the walking stick, and seeing him battle these two wolf characters are just like, holy shit. And I was shocked at it. But, to me, the wolves, and I'm leaning more off the subject here, but the wolves are just some crazy sons of bitches. That's the best way to put it. Because here they are, killing people, marking with the W, trapping the walkers in these things, so that way people can attempt to set a trap. Maybe they get caught. All their stuff gets taken. Blah blah blah. Whatever. It's just so I don't even know. It's like they're smart, but they're also not smart. And like a rave party, they learn how to do that. It's just like I know in the next season, when season 6 comes on, they're going to be the main bad guys, but at least at some point they're going to be the bad guys, because here's how you know that Rick's group is probably the better group, and even they're trying to turn Alexandria good too, and lean to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Alexandria's already good, but you get my point. But the wolves, like I said, I don't even know what to think about them. They're crazy, but yet they're smart, but yet they're, I don't even know. But anyway, enough about the wolves, but Morgan too. I also find it funny that it's weird how when you watch Talking Dead, the actors say certain things. And he said that it was just when he had him in the car and honked the horn, that it was for Morgan, to see if it's a safe place to leave him. But honestly, to me, I feel like if I was Morgan in that situation, even if I was on this self-righteous and more fed out Morgan than what we've seen in the past, he would be more, I feel like no matter what, you would still kill the person. That's the thing. I don't know. That's just me, though, personally. But I don't know. But enough about that. Let's skip ahead just a little bit, and I will go back, talk about Jesse and Rick, stuff like that, but I want to save that stuff for last. And then here we have, in the point in the episode, we have, sorry if you just hear a big thud on my mic, I just hit it with my hand, but we have Sasha literally making the bed of walkers and laying in it. And it's weird for me because, it's weird because how peaceful she is. But at the same time, I feel like this scene was actually symbolic for how she's feeling. And literally, she's feeling dead. And then, she goes, tries to talk to Gabriel after his old stuff. She says, I want to die. And I'll get more on that here in a minute. And then but while we're on subject to Gabriel as well, Gabriel, on the other hand, either he's working on actually learning how to protect himself now, or he's just going batshit crazy because he goes out on the walk, kills these walkers, quote unquote walk. He kills these walkers, but when he does, he breaks down, falls on the road crying. And to me, honestly, just based off him talking to Sasha, Gabriel has legitly, and I mean legitly, lost his way with his whole religion, all Lord and religion, stuff like that he supposedly is to Father Gabriel and stuff like that, since he is a priest, preacher, whatever you want to say. And then how they get into it, she's saying, I want to die, blah, 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 blah. And Gabriel's basically so-and-so saying you should, blah, blah, you and your group you and Rick and everybody else don't belong here. It's just like, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just so weird seeing these two. And it's weird how these stories arch with. There's three arches here to killing people. There's, of course, Glenn and Nicholas, and Glenn decided not to kill Nicholas, and Sasha and Gabriel, and Sasha decided not to kill Gabriel. Then again, that's probably because I helped Maggie, because Maggie does show up and kind of help Sasha stop Gabriel. And Gabriel, though, in a nutshell, though, same way with Sasha, she's trying to come to terms with, Bob dying, which was basically her boyfriend, romantic interest at the time, what everyone would say. Her brother dying, Tyrese. And it's weird how they're coming to terms with that, and then as well as Gabriel coming to terms with his, I think I have to word this, coming to terms with what he's done, and how he's almost wanted to die, and then Maggie's there to kind of help them both during this moment. Honestly, it's just weird how this works out, but I'm not complaining. Like I said, this episode was a damn good episode for a season finale. Mindfucks galore and cliffhanger, simple as that. But, and then I'll skip to the next thing, and then I'll go to the next thing, and then I'll go to Jesse and Rick and stuff like that. And then you have Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita. And Rosita maybe a little bit, I'm assuming here. I like how that at least Abraham and Eugene reconcile their relationship together. They're, I want to say I don't want to say relationship, but you get my point. Relationship at some point in the Rosita kind of overhears, and she is kind of reconciling in her head. I think she's reconciling as well, like saying, you know what I'm saying, but it doesn't see. And then speaking of Rosita, as she's watching over Tara, Tara wakes up. So thank God Tara is alive and not fucking dying or dead or whatever. So that's really all I gotta say about them, even though, like I said, yeah. Now let me go back up here and let me talk about Jesse. And I know I skipped over Jesse talking about her about the Alexandrian people, but I kind of did on purpose, because that's kind of going to lead me into talking about Rick and him throughout this episode. But Jesse, honestly, to be honest, she is a nice woman. She's just in a bad situation, and she basically mirrors Carol, pre-apocalypse Carol. That's the reason why she's not a badass like Carol. But it's just, with that, I don't know. Jesse and Rick, I like, but then Rick and Michonne, I like too. But that's not the point. It shows Jesse, I don't even know what to say about her, to be honest. I don't know. Here's the simplest way I would put it, probably. And I'm probably going to get so much shit for this, but oh well. Honestly, if I was ever in Apocalypse, and if I was in Rick's position, and not saying, and say if Jesse was like, let's just say not necessarily because of the situation she's in, but because of the type of person she is. And, I would probably end up, if I was ever during the apocalypse, if I was ever in the love making business, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or the pairing up stuff, and if there's a girl like Jessie, or even, I'd kind of lean towards her. If I was in a group that had like someone like Jessie, I'd probably lean towards her. But that's just honestly my opinion there, because I think that a lot of people would, to be honest, not just me. But then again, you'd probably in Apocalypse, probably end up leaning towards a lot of people that you probably wouldn't even like. Ha! No, but seriously, and I'm sorry if I quiet there, but still, but anyway, enough about Jesse, and that leads me talking about Rick. And Rick, throughout this whole episode, was like a mindfuck Rick, because throughout this whole episode, after what happened, Rick was just trying to, he was debating, he made a plan to try to take over Alexandria, or at least the armory. Even though, throughout the whole episode, he debates in his head, at least, whether or not to, or not, whatever. Or at least, and, he does make a point telling Carol that, he doesn't want to lie anymore, and then Carl comes in later, and he says, you should tell them, and he actually does. And it's just like, I don't know, Rick, this episode, like I said, I'm always on Team Rick no matter what, so. and so is everyone else, because in a way, everyone in the group is siding with Rick, even after he finally tells Michonne, and no matter what, she's on Rick's side, and with essentially everyone knows what happened because at the bonfire or the meeting, pretty much what Rick's group said about him is basically 100% true. At least in my opinion, because that's how I feel, but that's really nothing I gotta say. I mean, especially what Maggie said and what Abraham said, saying that you don't know what shit out there Rick does, blah, blah, blah. Carol, even though she's may have lied a little bit, it's still true in a way. But, and then, that's how I see it. And Rick and Jesse, actually, I forgot to talk about this for a second, too. And I kind of agree they see eye to eye, stuff like that, even if it's just a little bit, But anyway, I forgot to mention that because, but throughout this whole bonfire party, they're talking about Rick. Deanna's wanting to kick Rick out, stuff like that. And Rick, what I find funny is that Rick just finds, Rick, he finds or sees the gate open and he hurries to try to solve the problem. Basically goes around trying to hunt down the walkers that are basically getting in, even though there's like one or two. But still, he means to fix this. And, everybody's like, and why he's doing this, like I said, everybody's at the bonfire, like, Deanna tells what Gabriel told to her couple days before the meeting, then I think it was Jesse or one of the other girls. I'm pretty sure Jesse's saying, Gabriel's not here. You're just saying what someone else said. And then Deanna's like, well, Rick's not here either. And, later on within this, Rick shows up with the dead walker, throws it down. And everybody just all on gasp and just like, basically, what the fuck are you doing? And he starts going on this speech, basically the whole, I want to say, even like I said, I'm talking to the how many do I have to kill speech, which is pretty much as weird equivalent to the this is not a democracy speech, and they're both powerful speeches, so there you go. But then later on during this, while Rick's getting to speak, Pete shows up with, I believe, Michonne's katana. I can't swear it's her katana, but it was something sword-like, so yeah. And he basically ends up slicing Deanna's husband Reg's throat, and here's what I find pretty bad, and I'm pretty sure this is what would lean everyone towards Rick's side, is it took Deanna to side with Rick. Well, wait. It took Reg's, aka Deanna's husband, it took his death right in front of her with a sliced neck to side with Rick. And I find that pretty fucked up. But at the same time, it's kind of good now that the Alexandrians are kind of going to be part of Rick's group, Rick and the group and stuff like that. At least a little bit, if not much. And that's probably going to be doing some good, especially with the fucking wolves out there. But, anyway, but Rick sitting there. Deanna's like, Rick, do it. He's like, again, he's like the third person with the whole Arch episode about killing someone. He kills Pete. You can hear everybody in the background, basically, and they're oh shit, but not really saying oh shit. And as soon as Rick kills Pete, there's Daryl, Aaron, and Morgan shows up. And here's what I find funny, though, is that Morgan, it's just so weird because, Rick is like the only person that Morgan actually knew, and he was there since day one, and they split up to come back now. But I find funny, though, as soon as Rick killed Pete, thank God that porch dick is dead, by the way. With Morgan on the self-righteous saying every life is precious, basically even if they're out to harm you, which I find that kind of stupid. In a way, yes, I can agree, but in a way, fucking not, especially in the goddamn apocalypse. But still. And but Morgan witnesses Rick kill a person. And it's just like, and Morgan's probably like, who the fuck is this person now? Maybe he's there to help Rick a little bit more, Michonne's like kind of there to help Rick. Really, everybody's there to... Really, I think everyone can help Rick in some form or another, like, from the group right now in the mindset he's in. But at the same time, Rick... with everything that's going on right now, he kind of needs to be in that mindset, kill or be killed, kill or be killed type situation. It's like, really. But overall, this episode, with everything that went on with the 90-minute season finale, just like, again, a holy fuck fest of everything that could go wrong, that either didn't go wrong or it did go wrong. And honestly, this episode's a 5-star episode from The Walking Dead. So, as really, I guess I gotta say, sucks that it left on so much of a cliffhanger. But hey, that's what season 6 is for. And really, guys, that's really all I have left to say. And for my Walking Dead reviews, maybe I'll go back and review like the older, like season 1 through 4. I doubt I will, but it's a possibility. And really, until season 6 with Walking Dead reviews, maybe over the summer I'll review Fear of the Living Dead. I don't know. But yeah, until season 6 of The Walking Dead, live free and rock.